Hello everyone, and welcome to my latest Thomas & Friends video collection update. And as you can see, I have 3 VHS videos here, original Thomas & Friends videos. And these 3 videos feature all the episodes from the original Series 3. So if we get started with the first one here, this is of course Time for Trouble and Other Stories. And of course it's got Thomas and Percy at the back, on the front there. And there's the spine. And there's the back. And if we have a look here, the stories on here that feature are A Scarf for Percy, Percy's Promise, Time for Trouble, Gordon and the Famous Visitor, Donald's Duck, Thomas Gets Bumped, Thomas, Percy and the Dragon, and Diesel Does It Again. And this is the very first release of this VHS. So something rather special about this video and this video here, and that is that this has the very first and original narration by Michael Angelis. Now, these 2 videos were released with this original narration, but then they were reissued again with the new narration shortly after these initial ones were released. Now, the ones that we have on DVD and the DVD compilations, complete series and all the rest of it, have the redone narration, which is now considered the master narration, whereas the original was only found on these 2 videos in its original first edition release, and I have both of them here, so these are quite rare to find. So here's the VHS tape, as you can see. So yeah, the narration is slightly different to how it is. There's some music that is edited out of the original release, and also, yeah, it's subtle differences in the narration. Michael Angelis' narration is much softer, and it sounds much more like Michael Angelis in how you would hear him in person. Obviously, when he redid the narration for these, he obviously sounds much more upbeat and more energetic, and that sort of suits the style a little bit more. But I quite like the early narrations. It's the ones I grew up on. Not this one so much, because this one I got a lot later. But with this one here, which is Trust Thomas and Other Stories, this is the original one that I got when I was growing up and everything. And it had the first edition narration on it. And so I grew up with this narration. So obviously when the DVDs with the complete collection came out, it was very different to here. So it took me a while to get used to the newer narration rather than this one. So we've got Henry's Forest, The Trouble with Mud, No Joke for James, Thomas Percy and the Post Train, Trust Thomas, Mavis, Toby's Tightrope, and Edward Trevor and the Really Useful Party. And as you can see, you can tell this is an early release because it doesn't even have the title on the actual label. So these 2 are pretty rare to find with the original narration. It's very difficult to find which ones of these, if you go on eBay, which ones are actually with the original narration or the more common narration that we know now, unless they state it in the description. So yeah, so it took me a while to adapt to hearing these particular stories with the new narration. But now when I look back and I listen to the narration on this one now sounds a bit out of place. So, but it's very interesting to have those. And then we have Escape. Now with this and Other Stories, and with this VHS, this is like the ones we are familiar with. The narration on here is the only narration that was released, so there's no differences from this video release to the DVD releases that we got later on, and subsequent video releases of course as well. And this has 10 stories, so 8 stories on this, 8 stories on this, and as you can see on here we have Buzz Buzz, All at Sea, One Good Turn, Tender Engines, Escape, Oliver Owns Up, Bulgy, Heroes, Percy James and The Fruitful Day, and finishing off Series 3 with Thomas and Percy's Christmas Adventure. And as you can see, it has a sort of inside design. Oh, I was waiting for that. I was wondering if I was going to get away with it. Obviously not. Oh, whistles and sneezes. So there we have a letter from the Sir Topham Hatt, the Fat Controller, and then a list of other video releases that we have here. And of course the VHS tape, which does have obviously the title on it. So this is the original one as well. So these ones are not rare to find so much, but these two are rare to find if you're looking for them with the very first narration. Yeah, the outtake narration, I would say now, because obviously they wanted to bring it back and change a few things, and for Michelangelo to redo all the narration. So there we are. So there's the 3 videos. That completes Series 3 on VHS there. Of course, I've got videos showing you Series 1 videos and Series 2 videos. So I hope you enjoyed this video. And don't forget, like, subscribe, share and comment. And I will see you folks on the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.